Sweet. Welcome back to another episode of SVT Podcasts. How are you doing, guys? How's Sam
What's
and how's
up?
Vince doing?
I'm all right, man.
I'm
Just
I'm
recover
good.
still kind of recovering from quite a baseball game we all attended on Tuesday.
Recovering
And
from
Yeah.
Father's Day, man.
I was gonna tell you, how was your guys' Father's Day? How was
It was
anything
great.
I
anything eventful?
I went to Five Guys, man. Got a burger and fries, man. Just put in
Phrasing.
work, you know.
Phrasing. So what about you, Sam? Any big did you do anything? I took my pop out to go golfing, which is cool because he's got one good working eye and he wanted to see if he can hit a golf ball and he can hit it. He just doesn't know where it's going. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that it wasn't going straight either. But
My dad's a very religious man, and he wanted to spend his Father's Day at church, so I accompanied my father to church. So
nice. Nice.
yeah, it
Good
was
son, good
nice.
son.
It was nice.
Good.
Good boy.
Good boy. Good.
Give
Yeah, it was
yourself a
cool.
pat on the head. Good
Yeah,
boy.
it was good.
Rub your tum tum. Your scratchies.
It
So
was
today's
cool.
episode, we're jumping into everything all MLB Bay Area. We, like Vince said, went to the reverse boycott, so reactions coming soon. We're also going to be jumping into the NBA. The draft is this Thursday. So, any thoughts and any suggestions of who you think the Warriors take over Mike Dunleavy's master expertise as a GM? Please let us know in the chat. And the NHL happened. We have a winner. We have some news going into it as well. And last but not least, we also have another winner in the U.S. men's national team, and we cover some bases with our local soccer club here. So, without further ado, Vince, hit me with the scores of this past week.
All right, so the A's ended up having a 7-game win streak, a 6-game win streak going into the reverse boycott on Tuesday. They win to make it 7, and then they proceed to lose every game the rest of the week. So they go 2 wins, 2 losses against Tampa, and then to go 0-3 against Philly. All of those games were at home. This coming week, they got 3 at Cleveland, and they have 3 at Toronto. The current record is 19 wins versus 55 losses, which is bad enough for dead last in the AL West and the AL in general. So that's fun.
I mean, we got to enjoy arguably one of the best games that I've been to. I think this is the first game that all three of us have attended together, correct? Would that be
Since
correct?
I mean we've been at games together before. Um,
Have we been to A's
like
games
last
together?
yeah,
All three of us?
I think so. Sam,
I'm I think I have memories of that.
I think it's happened.
No,
But this
that's
is
true. That's true. We have definitely
it'd be
sat
not
lower
this
third
year,
base
but
side.
like prior, like
That's
last
true.
year. Yeah.
That's true. When Sam said, I think I have memories of that clicked right then and there. Yeah, we have definitely attended the games together.
Right.
This is the first time we have attended the game as the podcast. So
That's
I will say that. I will say that.
Mhm.
Before I get into it and before Sam gets really into it, what do you think, Vince? How was the night in your experience?
So
Okay.
I got there pretty early, and I was there with my wife and my dad, and my brother and his wife and his daughter joined
And
us.
Grandpa.
We also I was getting to that. I said I would bring him like that cardboard cutout of Grandpa. I brought that, and people like people in our group, we all kind of took pictures with Grandpa one last time at the ball game, and we actually did go to our seats that we've had for 10 years before the pandemic. We did take like one last photo with dad in his seat. We put the cardboard cutout of Grandpa in his seat, and then me and my brother, like all 4 of us next to each other. So that was all pregame stuff. We got that handled, and then we got to the business of watching a baseball game, and we even had an empty seat, so we put Grandpa in that one right next to me. So that was fun, and that was nice. And we just had every now and then we made sure to raise Grandpa's sign up so he could see the game. You know what I mean? It was nice. And then they got the win. So that
Yeah.
was, you know, we got to Grandpa got one last win on his last ever A's game, because I'm not gonna bring the cardboard cutout, and I'm not going to another A's game as far as I know anymore. I
Well,
think I'm done.
we might, just might go to the last home game of the year. I'm still mulling it over. We'll see. We'll see. But Sam, what are your reactions and thoughts of the night?
Reverse boycott was great. I think it was mission accomplished in the sense of changing the narrative. But what I could definitely see happening as a downside is whatever energy that was built up to that moment is going to go away. And for me, um, I just feel like there is the chance that the A's stay in Oakland seems pretty slim, right? Slim to none. It feels like it's final. Um, but my energy now is in make this thing as difficult as possible for the A's ownership, but also hopefully the Moneyball bill, the Moneyball Act that Barbara Lee introduced. I want to keep that energy going. A lot of A's fans, I feel like, have that same thinking of there has to be something next, and we need to have another reverse boycott of some kind. There was 30,000 or close to it on Father's Day. So people, with all the bad news, people still have an interest in being at the ballpark, and I think they have a interest in changing the narrative in the sense that there are fans here and there are fans that want to support baseball, and the reason why this is such a dog shit team, unfortunately, is because of ownership. Players are now coming out and talking about this. You know, Josh Donaldson had a comment earlier today, or maybe it was yesterday. Um, so the fans have the power to change the narrative, and I will definitely be going to more games this year because every time I go to a game, I'm going to be voicing my displeasure of what's going on, and I'm going to get tickets as close to the radio booth and television booth so I know I'm being heard. Like that's my strategy. I feel like my dream scenario now is I would love to have a reverse boycott back-to-back nights against A's and Giants at the Collie and set an attendance record and set a volume record of the loudest fan base to ever chant John Fisher sucks. Like
Yeah.
set the all-time volume level at a stadium, Oakland, California, to the ditty of John Fisher sucks. Like that to me, maybe you took my team, but we will live on in the record books that the loudest fucking fan base was when we chanted that you fucking suck, John Fisher.
Maybe we can get like the John Cena music to play, and we can say John Fisher sucks. John Fisher sucks.
I don't mind that. Or Grant Balfour's walk up music, chanting to that with the drum beat into it, like something electric, something really really
so
pumping
that's
into
kind of where I would like to go is like let's get another one in because I don't want to lose energy.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea actually. Sitting next to the radio booth, I think is a great idea too. So it's not like you can definitely hear a lot of things, especially when the radio's going on. You could hear people yelling, sell the team and things of that nature. So I think it's a great idea. My recollection of the night, it was a party from the get-go. I didn't get, drunk or anything of that nature, but even killed, mellow night. And it was, again, Vince, thanks for getting the tickets. Those seats were great. I mean, it ended up some friends that I knew were sitting really close to us.
Same with me and Sam actually too.
Yeah. I had a
right
friend that
us.
was like I had a friend that was like a Giants fan, and he texted me out of the blue, and I was like, "Yes, I'm at the game." Before he can even ask if I was here, I was like, "Yes, I'm at the game." He came up and met with us, and it was my story about it is funny. So clearly, he doesn't know any of the people around us. He just found our seats and found us, and by us, I mean me and my fiance. And I'm holding food because me and my fiance had just went to go get some from the concession stands. And as he's talking to us, one of my other buddy comes up and just like bites into my pretzel and like yells, "Sell the team," right? And my buddy was a Giants fan, has no idea what's going on. He was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Is this what's going on?" I was like, "Yeah, man, this is it. This is the party over here, buddy." And then my buddy texted, he was like, "I didn't know that was your fiance's pretzel. I'm so sorry."
Damn.
No, it was great, man. I mean, collectively, I think there was like 40, 50 people in that area that we all kind of generally knew for the most part. So,
Yeah.
it was a fun party. It was a great atmosphere.
It was great. I mean, I had a blast, man. The
Yeah.
energy
I
was
heard no
great.
fights broke out too, which is also
Yeah.
another plus.
I gotta say this though. I did not like the bottles, the trash being thrown.
Mhm.
I was not a fan
I
of
would agree with
that.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't participate in that.
No, that was like
I didn't get on anybody for doing it because I get it. I get
Yes.
why you did it. I don't support it. I don't recommend it. And I think if we're able to get another reverse boycott or something of that nature, is that we refrain from doing that, because that's just taking the punishment out on the people who take care of the field and the workers there, and that to me wasn't that cool.
I agree with that.
People
I was
use
a
it. See,
picture
this
of
is
it.
why they're leaving.
Yeah, there was
They
a picture of it on Reddit, and I commented and I said, "Hey, look, last night was a great night. That was a low point of the whole night. But to be fair," and I said it took a shit ownership and a reverse boycott. And I've been going to a lot of games, and I have never seen that in 25 plus years. So, to your point, Sam, I get why they
Yeah.
did it, but let's be the better person here if we can.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
for any future endeavors that we may do. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. Just on this point, like Rob Manfred, he did have a couple of comments, and they were not, you know, meant to be taken positively if you're an Oakland A's fan. So the first one I wanted to call attention to, he said on the reverse boycott, it was great. It was great to see what is this year almost an average Major League Baseball crowd in the facility for one night. That's a great thing. And you could read the sarcasm in the quote. You could hear the sarcasm when he said it at the podium. And it pissed me off so much that your boy did the math. Okay. So stand by for 1 second. Let me pull up
While
the
you're doing this, by
information.
the way, while you're pulling this information up,
Yeah.
the Rays' average attendance is 17,000. All right, and that's the best team in all of baseball, and they can only pull 17,000.
Yeah, 17,186 is their average. So I have statistics for every game through Saturday night, and then I also have Tuesday only information, because that's some of the information that isn't really brought up in all of this. So I pulled this Tuesday only information. The average attendance on a Tuesday game is 24,086. The A's announced an attendance on the reverse boycott of 27,759, which of course is almost 3,700 more. It sounds like more to me, but if you want to like compare it to every single game that happened the entire time, that number is 27,479, which is about 300 fewer attendees than were at the A's game. One other point I want to make on this: the A's announced that attendance in the fourth inning. They basically, as soon as the second inning started, they stopped counting, I guess, because they announced 27 and they announced it quick, but there was 30,000 there at least for sure. There were people still trying to get in the seventh inning. There was a concert next door. Was it Twice, I think, was playing.
Yeah.
So so there was a lot of trouble getting into the parking lot. Was miserable. If you were coming on Bart, like that was a little bit better. That's how I came, was through Bart. But also people they just didn't have enough staff at the gates to take tickets. They didn't have enough people in in the food concession stands selling, not enough staff. I don't know if enough staff exists, to be honest.
To be fair,
at this point,
I was noticing that there was nobody checking tickets, and I heard that people were going down to the lower bowl and nobody was checking tickets because there was nobody there. We could have all walked down there if we wanted to.
We could.
They didn't give a crap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, they were definitely short.
And but the thing that pisses me off about that is the A's knew the ticket sales, and they knew what the walk-up crowd was going to add something, and they purposely did that. They purposely didn't bring in more concession stand and ticket workers. They purposely, they tried to offer they tried to host the shittiest night and it was all fan funded. There was food out in the parking lot, there's beers out in the parking lot, free t-shirts in the parking lot,
Food
media in the parking
trucks.
lot. Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
food truck passing out food. I got to meet other podcasters who are slightly bigger than our channel, slightly.
A little bit, yeah.
It was a great time. It was an absolute great time. And instead of like then they donate the money, where they try to spin it, where they try to make it seem like they're going to donate the money and they're going to hijack the reverse boycott and try to say that they donated, $800,000, in donation to the Oakland Food Bank and this and that. And no, fans donated that money. We showed up, our money went there. And just the symbol, John Fisher's done nothing but complain that fans don't show up. And the one night they do show up, it's like your money's not good enough. You know what I mean? So it's just the whole situation of how the A's and the leadership of the team is just so mismanaged. And now you see how mismanaged baseball is with these dumbass comments from Rob Manfred, who's just completely out of touch.
Of hunk of metal fame.
Right. Just hunk of metal. He doesn't like the sport. And for the comments of, well, he works for the owners. Yes, he's supposed to work for the owners because they own the team. Okay. But he should still be an ambassador of the game and protect the game. That's what his role is supposed to do, is to protect the field of play.
He'll never do that.
Protect what's going on. Mm-hmm. And since Bud Selig will never get a commissioner that puts baseball ahead of everything. And that's what's wrong with the sport.
He will never do that because, yes, he may work for the owners, but let's be honest. The owners own him.
Well, the owners, this is what they want. They want to get free. They want handouts from Las Vegas. They want handouts from Arizona now. They want a handout from Milwaukee. Or they want a handout from Florida, for Tampa Bay. This is what MLB, what San Francisco did, the Giants, that's the outlier. The Giants took care of all of that on their own dime.
You put the marker,
and if you look at all the data that shows when cities contribute money to a baseball team and blah 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 blah, they don't include the Giants. Their slideshow cutoffs at the Giants, because they don't want you to know. They don't want people to know that you can finance a ballpark on your own. The Golden Knights did it. The Golden Knights financed their own stadium. Other teams across the league are financing. The Kings did. Other leagues are doing it. So it's just, this is what baseball wants, is free money. Be the fan, support the team, buy the jerseys thick and thin, support the team no matter what, because the moment we don't make money, we may leave. That's the message. That's the message. These people that say, well, Oakland fans never showed up. You're gonna
bullshit.
You're going to tell me you show up when a team sucks and trades every single player? Any player of meaning, gone. The richest contract in A's history is still Eric Chavez. That was in what, 03, 04?
It was signed in 2004. So it was 6 years, but 66 mil.
Fisher didn't own the team until the next year. So
I do want to ask you a question.
That contract out.
I want to ask you a question on that. Since John Fisher's been the owner, what's the biggest contract he's got? I know the answer to this.
Chris Davis.
Yeah, it's Chris Davis.
No. I wasn't done with my question yet. Hold on. Okay. What's the biggest contract he gave out to a free agent signee?
Oh, it's
that's Billy Butler, I think.
It's Billy Butler.
3
years, 30 million.
3 and 30, yeah.
That's the biggest contract he has given out to a free agent signing for this team. 3 years, 30
what was
million.
Rosenthal for the 1 year though? Didn't they give him like 15 million for the 1 year?
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking just whole dollar amount.
Yeah.
30 million versus 15. Like there have been players that have made more per year. Chris Davis, his contract was like 16 and change a year, like something like that. But still, like in terms of just whole dollar amount, he never broke 50 million on a contract, on any contract.
Yeah.
it's true.
And the reason why the team has been moderately successful making the playoffs half the times in the last 20 years is because Billy Bean doesn't suck at his job. David Force doesn't suck at the job. I know we give them shit, but I mean, they definitely have been hamstrung to like needlessly at this point, and I know we come for them a lot, but I will give them some credit. They are smart guys, and they do get more wins than you would expect anybody else in our situation with the constraints that we are given. They do
What
better
is
than
so
average.
what is so frustrating about all of this is you know, it's the shoulda coulda woulda game, and I don't want to play that game all the time, but you know, if you look at the timeline, Billy Bean and Moneyball, you know, this Moneyball era starts to happen, and it was changing the league, and you see the Red Sox, they hire Theo Epstein, and they were kind of like the team that took the concepts of Moneyball as far as like data and analytics, and they really adapted it. And they got David Ortiz in free agency for next to nothing when he was leaving Minnesota. They find all these players that were pretty good, but they put them in the positions to really succeed. They use that data, and they go on and win some World Series. And then Theo Epstein heads over to the Cubs and breaks that curse with the same principles of Moneyball. And then you see what's happening with the Dodgers again, another situation of Moneyball thinking with the analytics, and then now what Tampa Bay is doing, finding other analytics, right? Like Tampa Bay is kind of pioneering a bunch of this analytic stuff. I feel like with just a little bit of extra money, Billy Bean, it's just hard for me to believe that the A's, when it's all said and done, the A's didn't even get to one with Billy Bean. And I think that's what's so frustrating, is they never even got to one. And you just look at the amount of talent they had with Billy Bean at the helm, and he didn't even get the chance to see one of his teams get to the World Series. And I think that's what's so frustrating, is you saw everybody else develop what you were doing and do better. You know, like,
And that's probably why he's
silent.
And probably why he's wanting to venture out and do different. He's already burnt out, man. I mean, he's collecting the paycheck. I mean, let's in that perspective that you just gave, Sam. I know we bash Billy Bean for other things, but in reality, you didn't get to see one of your teams hit the promised land. You invested all this time, sweat and tears into this team, and you never got to see one get there. I mean, collecting a paycheck and wanting to move on, that doesn't really sound like something that none of us would not, listen to.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily hate Billy Bean. I just think
I didn't say hey. I just say we have our own reserved thoughts about.
It's like frustrating. It's like very frustrating that he traded away so many players, and sometimes Barry Zito was a free agent, but you didn't really have to trade Hudson. You didn't have to trade Mulder. You didn't have to make certain trades. They weren't free agents. You had another year or 2 years. You could have kept that team together for another year or two. It just seems like even when Billy Bean had time on his hands, he would trade players 2-3 years early to get more talent, to get younger guys back. But you never had a team ever sustained for an extended period of time. Never. And that's the most important thing to have, is when what's the most influence, what age are you where like baseball is like peak, 10, 11, 12, like those adolescent years. So if you're 10, 11, 12, and you're a Chavez fan, a Tejada fan, a Chapman, Olson, and then they're gone when you're 13, 14, but they're there when you're 14. They're there when you're 18. We don't have one guy. We don't really have one guy in the Billy Bean era to hang your hat on and say like, man, those were some rough years. but we got to see Miguel Tejada for 17. We got
Yeah.
to see, whoever.
Xavi was the only one they signed, and he was injured for the last 3-4 of those years. So it was
I don't
rough.
know.
We didn't get to see him as an adult,
I don't know why you guys disrespect Derek Barton like that. We had him for like 6-7 years.
Eat shit.
I think he was at the game on Friday. I think he was an invited guest at the game on Friday.
Oh God. Who invited him? Sure as fuck wasn't
John
me.
Fisher.
Yeah, of course. It was Billy Bean. Billy Bean fell in love, man.
Obviously, we can go down this rabbit hole forever, but let's cover the other side of the bay here.
Well, hold on, no, I just want to read the other quote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Saw that. So, in terms of he later blamed the city of Oakland for this whole situation, and he said, "quote I think that the real question is, what is it that Oakland was prepared to do? There is no Oakland offer, okay? They never got to a point where they had a plan to build a stadium at any site. The city of Oakland has a whole ass website showing what they were going to do at Howard Terminal. He's a fucking liar. I'm so mad. He's gonna catch my fist, and then he's gonna walk away with a black eye. I'm gonna walk away with handcuffs. It's fine. I've come to accept that, but I'm over it. God, I hate Manfred so much. God, I hope somebody takes a shit on his steak, man.
That's real anger, guys. That is
fucking
not
fuming.
That's not radio mad. I feel
no, I'm fucking shaking. I'm shaking.
Let's get you more mad.
The Arthur meme.
Read the last part. The Vegas legislative.
Well, I mean, the Nevada legislature, they did end up passing that bill. Governor Lombardo signed it. It was his pet project. There was no fucking way he wasn't going to sign it. The Rob Manfred stuff pisses me off more than the Governor Lombardo thing. I mean, like, at least he's honest about this. Like, he wants this to happen. He called the special session. I hate him, but I respect it a little bit, because he's not lying to us about it. He wants this to happen. He wants baseball.
He only vetoed, the school district from having
exactly. He sacrificed a lot of other more pressing needs in Nevada to make this happen. So so I get, like, I'm not surprised by his villainy. It's not treachery. He was never on our side. It's just pure villainy. So I get it. I get that. Manfred is supposed to be the caretaker, as you've said, Sam, of baseball, and basically he's just jizzing in all of our faces like a fucking madman.
Yeah,
like a serial jizzer.
It's gonna again, like, reincorporating, like, keeping the energy up as the season, continues. Is I think we're just at a point as sports fans, whether it's MLB, NFL, or any other leagues, is you can't hold. There are more pressing needs. You cannot hold cities and states hostage over a stadium. Baseball's not losing money. They don't even. The money that is made at attendance is minuscule. They make all their money from streaming. They make all their money from television deals. They make all their money from the endless merch. Baseball is more of a data company now than a league. Like, the shit that they developed, they sold, I think it's like Boom Analytics. They sold that to, like, Disney. So they develop technology and they sell it to other big companies. So your box office ticket, it doesn't matter to them. They just want the real estate. All of these owners are getting involved in real estate and free stadium builds. And I think as fans, we're starting to get to the point where we're like, nah, fuck that. We're past this. We're done with it. We're not giving you any money. You're all billionaires.
Yeah, use your own money.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to Mike in the chat. Bring it. Wrestling match, maybe? Or just a dark alley. I wanted a sanctioned event. That way it's less likely I walk away with handcuffs.
Alexander,
go ahead.
Alexander says, someone pour Vince a drink. So, Vince, get your water, buddy. Take a sip.
You're hydrated.
It's a hydration
I still haven't gotten rid of these A's cups yet. Like, these beer cups from 2011. I still haven't gotten rid of them yet.
Would you like some more? We have like 12 of them for some reason.
I've
from
got
Thursday.
18 of these bad boys in my
Tuesday.
cabinet. I've got another 20 lying around somewhere else. Like I'm all set. I'm gonna be getting rid of these. They're going into the box with all the hats and the jerseys and everything else.
I think every
Yeah.
A's fan has the box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's got the box. Most of that shit's going in there. The only thing I'm not planning on boxing up, I'm actually looking up at it right now, is the Ricky bobblehead. And one of my friends made like a nice wood burned elephant logo. And I can't bring myself to put that present away, and I can't bring myself to get to put Ricky away, because Ricky was my all-time favorite player. I'm not emotionally there yet, but everything else, I legit pulled down like the 2020 season when A's Access was still going to be a thing. Like I had my
A's
box for that, so
Access.
I grabbed that, I opened it up, I threw away some of the inside pieces. The tickets that are no good, I chucked those because those games never even happened. And then I just had a bunch of pins in that box too. So those are just kind of in a bag.
Well, one thing to note too, the sell shirts that were being given away on Tuesday, you can currently buy them on Oaklandish. They're $15 for the shirt. Do proceeds go to anything? Probably not. I'm pretty sure Oaklandish ran in the red to make these shirts for us fans. So if you didn't happen to get one on Tuesday and you still want one, you can buy one on Oaklandish. No, they are not a sponsor,
I'm sure
but if
they'll
they
have
would love to sponsor us, we would happy to have them.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably have more sizes too. So
yes, they do. They have multiple sizes.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. So I mean, they only had 1Xs when I got there. So if that's not your size, then it's $15. You've spent more on t-shirts. I mean, if you're going to any concert, you're spending $30 on t-shirts, so or more. So it's a good cause. Support
And
them.
you can wear it to your future A's games, because we're gonna go to more games.
Fair enough.
We got more to do. We got more work to do. It's not
I'm still
just
to be
about,
determined on that. I don't know if I can do it.
That's okay.
Well, you might go to the last home game of the year.
We'll see.
You might.
I'm not gonna make a decision on that.
Maybe.
It's a hard maybe. Vince, give us the Giants rundown.
So let's
crappy team.
Yeah. So the Giants, they went 3-0 at St. Louis, and then they went 3-0 at the Dodgers. So including a massive 15-0 win. Apparently, this is the most runs they've scored in a 3-game series at LA Dodgers, like since they've moved to the West Coast. 29 runs in 3 games. I mean, they put it to them. They absolutely earned that. They've actually jumped in front of them in the standings. They're currently 39-32, second in the NL West. The Dodgers are a half a game back of the Giants. This week they're playing 4 at home against San Diego, and they got Arizona coming over the weekend for 3. So
that's gonna be a big game. The Arizona games. I mean, I think the Padres game, now that they're getting players back, I think the Padres, they're still a mid as fuck team right now. So pitching has not come around for that team as far as the bullpen is concerned. Arizona, nobody had Arizona being the top dog, which is amazing. But I want to talk about that.
Arizona didn't have Arizona as the top dog.
Yeah, exactly. So we glossed over it here. That Dodgers game 7-5 on Saturday, that had to be the most bonkers game I have ever seen.
Oh yeah, the ending was super fucking
that
weird.
Was so weird. They were no hit into the 6th inning with the Dodgers rookie, and then they pulled him in a no-hitter. And then in the 11th inning, they had a pop-up, and then the Giants pitcher airmailed it over first base, but then the Dodgers didn't try to score home and then got into a pickle and got tagged out. And then the Giants ended up winning the game in the next inning. What?
Yeah, that thing was a mess.
That was pure chaos, pure unadulterated chaos. And that's definitely some, like, it's shades of 2010, the SF Giants torture. Maybe this is torture 2.0, torture 2 electric boogaloo. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, what an absolute bonkers of a game. The St. Louis series, me and Sam cannot pick a winning team. We were talking about this pre-show. The Padres stink. The St. Louis stinks. This is probably someone can fact check on this, but in the years of us, watching baseball, this is probably one of the worst St. Louis teams I think we've ever seen.
Oh, easily. Oh, hey, podcast dog. That's Doolittle right there. Hey, bud.
Doolittle.
Hey, Doolittle. Hey, Dewey. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, I definitely think this is the worst St. Louis team I think we've ever seen, which is weird
No.
because they have the talent. Oh, there's
Yeah.
a Stewart.
Yep. Got to pay the tax, man.
Yeah, the Cardinals stink, dude. I mean,
Like,
who saw that? It's like they forgot how to hit.
Yeah. They forgot how to baseball. Yeah.
yeah, all I know is the next WBC that rolls around, Arenado is not going to be on the roster. He forgot how to hit this season. I don't know what the heck happened to him.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe they can
crazy.
find it. They've actually won 3 games in a row at this point, though. They've won their last 3. We'll see. They're 4-6 in their last 10. So maybe they're starting to turn it around a little bit. As terrible as the Cardinals have been, they're still only 8 games back.
That's crazy.
We're not yet to the halfway point of the season. Although we are approaching it, so it's no longer a small sample size by any means. But I mean, there's still time to turn it around for not every team, but for a lot of teams, there's still some time to turn it around. It's another thing that I just kind of noticed in baseball at large. The AL East, every single team is still above 500. The Red Sox are the basement dwellers at 37 wins, 35 losses. So they're 2 games above 500. But then you look at the AL Central, the Twins are at 36 and 36, leading the way. So the worst team in the AL East is still a game better than the best team in the AL Central. Sucks to be them. It sucks to be the Blue Jays and the Red Sox, man. You just can't catch a break because the Rays are absolutely killing it.
Yeah, we'll have to put a pin in that for my question for next week. But I wonder though, if salary caps were introduced, would we have a more balanced baseball across the board as far as talent and records go? Like the Yankees wouldn't be the Yankees, right?
Salary cap. I mean, they would still spend to the salary cap, I'm sure. And then
and it would have to be a harsh luxury tax.
Yeah,
like a harsh.
No, you put if you put just a straight up hard cap in, they can't go above it. So it's the end of that. But also, if there's not a salary floor, then there's no fucking point.
Yeah.
If you're not making the A's and the Pirates and anybody else actually spend, there's no fucking point.
Yeah, I think you got to have a salary basement, and then the salary cap, I think, would probably more in line with what the NBA is doing with like luxury taxes and things like that, where we're discouraging you from going past this number, but if you do, you're going to pay all this tax. I could not see a hard cap like NFL.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Bob Melvin just commented on the A's move. I just got this alert. He says, you never know until the last minute. So it sounds like he's still kind of holding out hope a little bit that they might get a deal done in the waning moments.
That's why we love Bo Mel.
Yeah. Bo Mel's a real one. I one of the pins I ran into was his 3-time manager of the year pin. So that was nice. Bo Mel.
He's the main reason why I jumped to the Padres as my NL team here. So
much respect. Hey, Dave Cavill, welcome to the pod. No. Walking, talking bobblehead. That's what that is.
All right, fellas. You guys got anything else on baseball for the night?
I'm done. I'm spent.
All right. Well, the Nuggets won the NBA Finals in 5 games. We're jumping into the NBA here. By
Great transition.
You're welcome.
Dynamite. This is perfect.
I know. I was reading this and I was like, "This is the way I want
it's
to go."
10 out of 10.
Let me go the way I wanted to go. Okay, hold on.
You can go your own way.
From a team that's building from the ashes to a team that's already been built up, but now with a new driver for the keys here. Mike Dunleavy had his press conference today, and I don't know if you guys watched it, but I definitely watched it. I'm excited. I'm excited for Dunleavy's approach, but I'm also very, very, very nervous. He basically said, we're going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then this team is ready to compete. And my brain went, that's a lot of holes in the boat that you have to plug, sir. And I don't know if you're going to be able to do that right now. but it seemed like he's got a sense of a direction of what he wants to approach. It seems like I don't know, I'm drawing a blank on the owner right now. He basically told Mike Dunleavy, "It's your keys, it's your car, you drive
Like
it."
a
Lacob said, I will advise if I need to, but it's yours. I'm giving you full power like I did to, your previous GM of Bob Myers there. So
I heard clips
um,
from it. Yeah, I heard clips from it. I didn't hear the whole thing unedited, but I heard clips. He was saying, "You're the top basketball decision maker."
yeah. Yeah. And Joe Lacob is smart, man. He threw shade at First Take too, because they were throwing shade at Mike Dunleavy being now the GM of the Warriors and the big shoes he has to fill. So
Yeah.
nice to have a cerebral, smart owner as well.
Shout out Joe Lacob, gonna buy the A's. Keep him in Oakland.
Let's go. Let's go.
With that being said, now Mike Dunleavy is the GM. And now that Draymond has declined his option, his 27.6 million option. I guess my question to you guys, we'll start with Draymond. Does he opt back in?
He already opted out.
Well, he opted out, but
I'm
like,
sorry.
does he resign?
Will they resign him at a minimum? Before you answer, he's looking for a contract in line with Steph Curry's contract, so he's wanting a 3-year deal. Money was not discussed. So if he wants to come back with the Warriors, it's going to be a 3-year deal at minimum. So what do you guys think?
I could do 3 years. I'm fine. I'm comfortable with a 3-year deal for Draymond. As far as the money goes, that's the other part of it. I don't have a say on the money side. Does he think he's going to get more than 27.6? I'd have to think no. I think he's looking for the longevity of a contract instead of top dollar. Because if it was just for the top dollar, he would have accepted the player option and stuck around for one more year. I think he's looking for this might be his last chance to get a long-term contract, because just how much wear and tear his body goes through, specifically because he's such an aggressive defender, So I figure a 3-year contract. I don't mind giving him 3 years, but obviously you'd probably have to lower that dollar amount per year significantly. If it was, and I think that's probably what's the offer is on the table for Draymond. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if any other team wants to come over the top and give him more money per year for 3 years. Maybe LeBron and the Lakers. I don't know.
Well, LeBron's gonna opt out too, but he does that every year, so it doesn't really matter.
If LeBron leaves
the
LA,
Warriors,
I would never want it. Although it was flirted. It was flirted that CP3 was gonna go. The Warriors were making a phone call for CP3?
Oh yeah, kick the tires.
Yeah, you pick up the phone for sure.
See what it would cost. Absolutely. I
the
mean,
thing
anybody
with Draymond, what's interesting is and Clay, right? Like, because we got to get doesn't Clay need to get his?
Clay has one more year, but they're wanting to do a contract extension before he can hit his player option.
Right.
So he technically has one more year left on his deal. So, and then he could do the player option after that. So I don't know. Well, tell me what you think, and then I have my thoughts.
You have to. I feel like if the Warriors are going to compete for another title, Steve Kerr came out and was saying, you're not competing for a championship without Draymond Green. I agree with that statement, but to a certain extent. I think Draymond has to come back at a greatly reduced contract, so you have somehow I don't even know how you're going to be able to bring anybody in. You're not going to. I think all you have is a vet minimum right now. You can't really just sign anybody, so you're going to have to shed. You're going to have to trade some assets away to get assets. So I don't really know what you can do. That's not my job, but I don't really know what you can do. I don't know what your options are. So maybe you bring back Draymond, hopefully at a reduced cost, and you make a trade, which you say goodbye to Jordan Poole. You might have to say goodbye to other pieces. I don't know. I'm not as excited. I think I'm more just wait and see.
I think
this may how it ends. This may be how the first big Warrior leaves.
I don't necessarily want Draymond back. Yeah, do I think he's a crucial player when it comes to, this dynasty run that we've had? Yeah, absolutely. 100%. But I also think that
I don't know.
time has run its course, and I think it's time for these young kids to not have to worry about appeasing Draymond, making sure that he's okay with what they're doing on the court. I think it's okay for these kids to make mistakes. They're gonna have to make mistakes. What I'm concerned about is that I think that Curry is a little bit too friendly in the sense of Draymond's his boy. So he's probably gonna want Draymond back, right?
Yep.
But is that a detriment to the team
Yep.
for the future? It could be. I mean, there's no way of knowing. I mean, I still think that if it wasn't Bradley Beal, maybe Kuzma or something along those lines, I think that Poole was in the conversation too. I mean, they need to clear up space. And
Yeah,
at this
but if you
point,
get rid of Draymond, who's your lead decision maker and your best defensive player, like the one of the bigger problems for this Warriors team was they were crap on defense, and then you're gonna walk away from your best defender. Who are you replacing him with? Because now you didn't have good defense. Now you got no defense.
but also to be fair though, when you had Draymond's contract and you had Poole's contract and Curry's and Clay's, um, you couldn't sign anybody to help you out anyways. So you never really got to see if there was another person that could help out a veteran or somebody who's been in the league defensively. Even Brown for when he won with the Nuggets right now. He's a great defensive player coming from the Nets. We didn't really get to see if we could have a chance at him. We lose out because we're so used to what we have. And I think at one point we're going to have to rip that band-aid off and see what it's like without Draymond. Is it this year? It could be, but it could also not be. We could be stuck with Draymond again. And I still think Poole is a viable option to get traded. I think they're trying to move off that contract so they can try and bring in more players. But if Draymond doesn't sign with the Warriors, say he goes to, I don't know, Portland to go play with Damian Lillard, for instance, um, and maybe now you keep Poole. Maybe Poole plays more energized. Maybe Poole has more focus because he's not worried about the drama that's associated with him and Draymond anymore. I I I guess what I'm getting at is I don't think Poole and Draymond can coexist together anymore. That ship has sailed. So either they're both gone or one of them's gone. But something's got to move between the two of them in order for this Warriors team to move on and move forward. And that's my opinion.
Well, you're wrong.
Alexander says
coming back.
Alexander said CP3 thumbs down.
I agree with
I
you.
mostly I do mostly agree, but I bet CP3's thought would be Curry can't break your ankles if he's on your team.
This threw me off so hard. It says Alexander. It's Alex. It's my stepdad. So welcome to the party.
Hi. Welcome to the party, pal.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Happy Father's Day.
You know who he really does not like, by the way? He absolutely hates LeBron James. So having LeBron on the Warriors, he would probably stop watching Warriors games.
I think a lot of Warriors fans would be kind of pissed off at that for sure, but they're not going to be able to afford him because LeBron's not going to take a vet minimum. So that's not anything that we have to really worry about.
He will if Mike Dunleavy drafts his son 2 years from now.
We'll
Ronnie
see.
and blue and gold and white. I don't know how I feel about that.
God.
Well, okay.
The circus, man. The circus that would create. Oh, dear Lord.
Well, okay. There's two circuses that I want to talk about. NBA Finals, Denver Nuggets. You put on here, are they a dynasty? Are they one and done or somewhere in between? I think this is the start of a dynasty. The reason why I say that, they're all young, all of them. And if they were healthy last year, I fully believe they would have beaten the Warriors. Fully believe that. Oh, thank you, Mike. Mike believes with me too. No, I fully believe they would have beaten the Warriors last year if healthy. So I think this is the start of a dynasty for the Nuggets. Honestly, they're going to be the team to beat.
Well, your opinion does not align with mine, so you're wrong.
Oh, sorry.
According to use Mike's
That's
argument.
how it works here. That's how it works here in America. I kind of. It was a question that I thought, and I'm still not 100% sure if I know. I mean, we thought Milwaukee a couple years ago had a shot to maybe start a dynasty. But so far it just hasn't happened to this point. And I don't know, man. Like I
Well,
think
they've
it
also
might
gone
be.
through like 3 head coaches though too.
Yeah, that's the other part. You never know what's going to happen in the next 2 years, cuz I mean, we see championship coaches getting fired left and right in the NBA. So after just a couple of years removed from their title. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe if something goes wrong, if Jokic, God forbid, has some like injury or something next year and they end up falling down to the 5 or 6 seed and they can't get it figured out, maybe the following year, all of a sudden that seat gets a little hot. I don't know. Like
Well, I
it's
mean, the
you never know.
competition's getting better too. Phoenix added Bradley Beal,
Mm-hmm.
and they're returning with a squad that is still a pretty good team. And they're still, Chris Paul might be back with them. Like it's not over.
Well, I mean,
He
they did send him to the Wizards, but the Wizards could absolutely buy him out.
right, but he's
Um,
talking about through the buyout he might re-sign with the with Phoenix again.
yeah,
I mean
who
that
knows?
team that might be a really good puzzle piece. But I could also see Sacramento getting better. I could see the competition in the West, changing where okay, Denver gets back to the Western Conference Finals, and then something crazy happens. Something crazy happens. They run into Phoenix, they run into Sacramento, and we've seen Denver their series fall apart in the past. This is the first year that they got through. I think they're still in that, they got the first one, but what are you going to do next? Are they the favorites going forward? I think like if you're taking those polls today, yeah, Denver would probably be the favorite because they just won. But what are these other teams in the West going to do? But Boston's still really good. They underperformed. Milwaukee underperformed. What are they going to do? What are the Warriors going to do? There's a lot of movement for the other teams to close that gap. So I don't know, man. I'm still. What were the options? Dynasty or
Dynasty,
Dynasty,
one and
one and
done,
done, or
somewhere
somewhere in
between.
between. Maybe they get another one in a couple of years, but that's it. It's not really a true dynasty.
I would put myself somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of where I'm leaning to. They might get another one. Maybe it's next year. Maybe they go back to back.
let me tell you
Um,
guys,
and
I'm
then that's
really
it. Who
good at
knows?
picking teams clearly by my baseball team choices. Denver
Mm-hmm.
is a dynasty,
Yeah.
and that's my opinion.
Well, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
A good point. Sacramento is a great team. I also think that their point guard, who I am drawing a blank right now, is the face of the NBA. Who isn't the face of the NBA anymore is not John Morant.
Well, you can't be the face of the NBA if you don't know the guy's name.
Well, I'm saying John Morant is no longer the face of the
Well,
NBA.
he's not.
He's getting a 25 game suspension. Vince, would you like to read his statement?
Okay, so Ja did release a statement. Here it comes. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather.
Don't talk about
Okay.
museums.
I've had time to reflect, and I realize how much hurt I've caused. I want to apologize to the NBA, the Grizzlies, my teammates, and the city of Memphis, to Adam Silver, Zach Kleiman, and Robert Pera, who gave me the opportunity to be a professional athlete and have supported me. I'm sorry for the harm I've done. To the kids who look up to me, I'm sorry for failing you as a role model. I promise I'm going to be better. To all my sponsors, I'm going to be a better representation of our brands. And to all my fans, I'm going to make it up to you, I promise.
Didn't he just say that a few months ago?
I know, right? It's getting echoes. It's echoing in here. I'm spending the off season and my suspension continuing to work on my own mental health and decision making. I'm also going to be training so that I'm ready to go when I can be back on the court. I know my teammates are going to hold it down, and I'm so sorry I won't be out there with you at the beginning of the season. I hope you'll give me the chance to prove to you over time I'm a better man than what I've been showing you.
So this is why De'Aaron Fox is the face of the NBA.
There you go.
It clicked in there halfway through.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, actions mean more than words. That's what I got out of this. So
yeah,
you've already apologized.
This is a boilerplate apology. I got a sneeze coming, so sorry. Somebody
drafted by the lawyer. Here, copy and paste this on your Twitter or Instagram or whatever the hell you posted it on.
Yeah. Well, don't do an Instagram live video.
Yeah, no,
That hasn't
don't do
worked
that.
out too well for you.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to take this stance, but I'll believe it when, when we see it, when we see,
Yeah.
Or when
like,
we don't see it at this point.
exactly, but it's just absolutely stupid to me that, you have an ability that puts you in a career that pays this much money, and you have these gifts, you have the look, you have everything working in your favor to just do whatever it is you want to do in life. You have this one skill that people will pay millions and millions and millions of dollars for, and you spend your free time acting like a millionaire gangster,
A millionaire
and
gangster when you grew up in the suburbs.
right, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid, and it should be called out, and it should be stupid, what you're doing. People who actually are born and growing up in that life and who are trying to get out, the glorification of this lifestyle, no matter race, no matter, what gang or how you're trying to, who affiliate with, it's stupid. We need to be better humans to one another. And I get the whole, being a role model. Um, that's a lot of pressure, and you could definitely be a person who supports guns and wants to have your guns and not drive around like a dipshit,
Yeah.
waving it around in a car.
Edward said Aaron Hernandez, and while I agree with that, but Edward also too, Aaron Hernandez was actually in a gang and
Yeah.
never really left the gang.
He led that life for real. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Did you see that documentary on him?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God, what a fucked up
Yeah.
life, man. There was a lot going on with Aaron Hernandez, and
Mhm.
that's just a sad.
So we can
sad
fully
thing.
believe that like he didn't commit suicide in jail. Like that was gang affiliated, right? We can all agree with
Oh, no,
that.
I think he
after
I
that
don't
doc.
know.
I think he killed
I
himself.
think he did it himself. Yeah.
Did you see the film?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think there was a lot of sexual stuff and identity.
Oh
that
yeah.
he didn't know how to, and then
Yeah.
brain trauma just from football. So that was just that was a mess.
There was
Yeah,
That was
a
hot
whole
mess.
a
There
whole
was just
house
a
of
lot.
cards on
Yeah.
that one, and it
Yeah.
just collapsed.
The father,
That-
like the
in a
relationship with his
horribly-
dad. Oh my God.
Horrible, spectacular.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah. So as far as this whole situation goes with Ja, I don't like you said, I'll believe it when I don't see it. And at this point, I think his window for being the face of the NBA, like it's closed for now. It may open to him again in 3 years or so, depending on how he plays and how he behaves. I mean, like on Instagram lives, So we'll see where it goes from here. He might get another chance in a couple of years, but as for now, he's just gonna have to just take this L and enjoy this 25 game suspension, because that's it.
Yeah, we agree, Alex. It was definitely perfectly written by his PR or
Absolutely.
agent. 100%.
That is a spectacular apology that they have stuffed in a drawer ready to pull out and enter name here.
It literally, yeah, in parentheses, enter name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ja's lucky, by the way, too. He gets to keep his Nike deal too. So,
Mhm.
Man, but if he
And
lost
why
it
they
all,
keep him? Why Nike's keeping him is because the moment you cut him, Reebok or some other freaking team is gonna, like, he's gonna get suspended. What, 30 games or something?
25.
Like another, if they would have suspended him a season, that would have been like, then I think everybody would have walked away from him. And I think that's the thing, is like he's lost a few deals, but the major ones have stuck with him, because the moment you let him out of that contract, he's going to sign another one, because he's coming back into the league in 30 games.
Yeah. And also he's new to this contract too. It's a pretty new contract.
I was gonna
He's
say
only like a year-ish in.
He literally like just dropped a shoe. So the timing could not have been worse
Like,
if they were
yeah.
to remove him from the contract deal and be like, we
Mhm.
literally just invested in
he
probably
makes
about
more.
not just one shoe, but probably like 5 or 6 different shoes down the road too.
Yeah.
John Morant probably makes more money off the court than his actual
Yeah.
basketball contract.
a lot
So,
a lot of
a
the
lot of
higher end
players do.
players, yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, they get supplemental income through all these
Absolutely.
endorsement deals. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, look at Tiger Woods. It's the first $1 billion athlete. He didn't win all that from playing golf, you know. Won that from all his endorsement deals with Nike.
Mhm.
See a trend there?
Speaking of Nike,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Michael Jordan is finalizing the sale of the Charlotte Hornets. He was a majority owner for 13 years. He bought in for I don't have the numbers here. I think it was like 200 million, and
Yeah,
then
around
he's
that
going to
range.
sell for like two bill. Like, I mean, 2 bill, 3 bill, however much he sells it for. He made his money on that.
He's not selling it to an outsider. He's basically selling it to the minority owners so they
yeah,
can become the
they're
majority
all,
owners.
Yeah, exactly.
So
great player
sorry.
who was a terrible executive.
Yeah, I've definitely
Yeah,
seen
it
that
has
trend.
not worked out as an executive for Mike.
No.
Yeah, that baseball career was a little more
we got
impressive.
Daniel back in the chat. He was MIA for a couple weeks, but he's back. So
no, I'm not getting the bang bang ones. Sorry. I'm gonna avoid getting those.
Yeah. Second worst owner business wise in the NBA, Daniel says.
Tyler wears Under Armour Steph Curry's.
Which, by the way, we've said this before. How terrible, man. You got one of the best brand ambassadors, and you can't even walk into an Under Armour store and buy his damn shoes. They are literally never at an Under Armour store. Tell me you've seen Curry shoes at an Under Armour store. I've never seen one. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong in the chat.
Well, I never went to buy them.
I wanted to see if they were there. They didn't even have his dad's shoes or his golf shoes. Remember those
His
when those came out?
Shoes.
Those
you
ugly
got them
golf
Dale
shoes.
Curry's?
Yeah, you remember those? Oh man. Yeah. I can't I digress. Anyways.
What's crazy, I don't mean to talk shit about our boy Steph Curry, but I don't think I've ever really seen anybody like on the street wearing Steph Curry's.
I do. They're little kids who got the whole fit. You know the ones that have like the like the Under Armour pants with the basketball shorts, and they got the little it's always little kids, you know.
Yeah, number one is Dolan from the Knicks. That's what Daniel says, and yeah, I agree.
Foot Locker. You gotta go where the refs go.
That's right.
Oh man, second worst? You think that's a second? I know he's bad.
He calls out.
Dolan's pretty bad.
Dolan is real bad. But yeah, I just like for whatever reason Mike can't get it going as an executive, and you know what? But he still gets to walk away. For his failing, he still like makes next $5,000 5,000% profit. Yeah, whatever.
Next week we got to do who are the worst owners in sports. Like just who's the worst?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. We gotta have a stipulation here. I mean, obviously John Fisher's gonna top all of our lists because we're biased.
Right.
Let's do a 1A and 1B. So obviously John Fisher and then a 1B.
Who's the best? Like, well, we just don't say John Fisher, excluding John Fisher, who's the worst
because
owner.
He's the worst.
Yeah. Because he's the actual worst.
And Daniel's the only person I know as a grown adult who has a pair of Currys. So
damn.
How'd you find him, Daniel? Did you walk into an Under Armour
He said
store?
he got him at Foot Locker. He used to play high top Curry ones.
Are they hella comfortable?
I've never worn them. Mine. What, you playing in somebody else's shoes? Daniel, we have other questions to ask you, but we have to move on.
Yeah, we do got to move on. We're getting pressed for time here, but yeah.
They were the kids ones.
Oh man, Big McCord is up there. I will agree with that. Anyways,
do we count active owners only? I mean, because if we
active.
Yeah, it only has to be
all
active.
of them.
No, active.
No, if we do all of them, then we got to look at like fucking Daniel Snyder and like all of that mess too.
All right. We'll do active.
I think we only want active owners.
Because Sterling would be like top 3, he'd be up there.
Yeah.
What was that audio clip?
What was the Phillies? the racist lady, Marge Shot.
Oh yeah, she sucked too.
I think she was the Phillies.
Yeah.
She was nuts.
Okay.
Wow.
All
Rip
right.
this Band-Aid off. Let's
This
move this to
fucking
the ice.
sucks. The
Let's
Vegas
move to
Golden
the ice.
Knights, they win the Stanley Cup after only 6 years in existence. They win 4-1 over Florida, who's been around for a long, long time and hasn't won jack squat. Neither has the Sharks, but that's another story.
Sucks to be a Miami fan right now, huh?
Yeah, no kidding.
You had two
they play
chances
in
and went over two.
the Florida Panthers actually play in Sunrise, which is just outside of Miami by about, I don't know, 30 minutes or so, but that's basically a
That's
Miami
Miami.
team. That's Miami, you know.
That's like playing in Santa Clara and being called the 49ers of San Francisco.
It's close enough. Close enough. It's the same media market. It counts.
Serious question though, guys. Since you're talking about all this, what rhymes with my tummy?
My yummy. Pedro Martinez, the greatest family feud ever.
Oh man. So one thing that broke over this weekend, the A's actually put a billboard at the Raiders Stadium congratulating the Golden Knights on their Stanley Cup victory. It says congrats, and then it has the A's in the emblem in the corner. So just pour salt into our giant, massive, gaping wound, and then little lemon juice in there too, just for good measure.
I mean, just the fuck, man. Just when we close the bit, this is what pisses me off so bad about the A's. They fucking squatted on the current site. It's why the Raiders left to Vegas. It's why the fucking Warriors left. It's why nothing could get done was because the A's insisted that they had to have that 10-year lease, and then they had to buy half to guarantee that they would stay in Oakland if Howard Terminal doesn't work out. And nobody's talking about that backstop. No, it's the backstop is now Las Vegas. It's all just bullshit. It's just if you're a Raider fan that's upset and you weren't even an A's fan, the reason why the Raiders went there was because of Fisher, because of the A's. They gridlocked everything. Like nobody could make a move.
Of course.
So fucking infuriating. And then the team that left because of your sorry ass, you rent their billboard to congratulate a homegrown team, and then you're gonna move in there. It's just mind fucking boggling that the shit that John Fisher does.
Well, I know that Davis doesn't own that billboard outside. It's just anybody could publicly domain put whatever they want out there. But man, if he owned that, he would have been like, oh hell no, you can go kick rocks. She ain't putting shit on my sign.
Yeah,
that's
Real.
ridiculous. So, anyways,
we do have one other NHL note just to mention. The Ottawa Senators have accepted a near $1 billion bid from Toronto billionaire Michael Andlauer. We don't really know much about him publicly. He made his fortune developing metal equipment and through a trucking company. So he's pretty diversified, as most billionaires are. Is
that a rich joke? Diversified, like his portfolio? Is that a rich joke?
Yeah,
all right, I get that.
Yeah. He's worth about 1.1 billion. He currently owns 10% of the Canadians, so he's gonna have to sell that portion of the team to become the majority owner of the Ottawa Senators. So good luck to them with a new owner. What's it like?
I hope Ottawa. I hope that your owner that not much is publicly known about him and he's pretty quiet. I hope he doesn't try to sell your fucking team and move it. Tell me if
that's what I was
going
to ask is. He's not going to try to move the team, right? Like
no. I don't think so.
Is there any update on the Desert Coyotes, the Desert Dogs?
As of right now, no. They're gonna play out this next season at the college arena at Mullet Arena, and then they'll go from there. I imagine more news will break as the season goes on. It doesn't look good. As bad as it looks for the A's, it looks almost as bad, if not just as bad, for the Coyotes going to maybe Houston or somewhere else. Nobody knows for sure at this point. They're working out every contingency. Gary Bettman has really tried to keep the Desert Dogs in Phoenix or in the Phoenix metro area for a lot longer than a lot of other commissioners would have allowed to happen.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. NHL, get rid of the Arizona Coyotes and move them to Sacramento, so Sacramento can get a hockey team. Let's do it. I'm calling it right now.
I don't know. I don't know if I like that much. There's other bigger markets that are, worthy of of a team as well. I mean, Houston is probably the
But why
the top one.
can't they get a stadium done in Arizona? Like, what's the because I don't
incompetence.
It's mostly ownership incompetence.
Ownership incompetence. What's that like?
They had a team that was
on the Coyote side.
Yeah,
they had a team that was much like the Vegas. Like there was a lot of excitement from fanfare, and they were pretty decent in the beginning. And then
they moved there. They were an expansion. They weren't an expansion. They moved there from Winnipeg.
But what I'm saying is that like they had fanfare. People were coming to these games. They were pretty decent of a team. And then ownership decided to meddle too much and pissed off all the people around there, as far as landowners and politicians and, all of that stuff. So it's definitely their fault as to why this happened.
They're looking for a government handout too.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
They had a plan that got voted down a few weeks ago, and the Tempe residents were not having it. And if it was close, they might still try to work something out. But it was a resounding kick rocks to that plan. So they're kind of regrouping right now and seeing if there's anything else they can do for the Phoenix metro area. So we'll see what happens.
Just tragic tale. I think there was a lot of promise. It just went into the wrong hands of ownership, and they just literally drove it to the fucking ground. That's basically what happened.
Absolutely.
So, also, tragic story. If you are a Team Mexico fan for soccer or football, you are probably looking for your next head coach, because Diego just got fired after 7 games and a 3-0 thrashing from the U.S. men's national team on Friday night. So that's fun. That game, I know, Vince, you didn't get a chance to watch it. If you could watch a YouTube highlight of it, was exciting. It had everything. I mean, you want to talk about a packed Allegiant Stadium in Vegas where the Raiders play? It was packed, and it was
for
highly Mexico. Very highly Mexico. It was weird being on U.S. soil and being booed as a U.S. men's national team. Albeit that game
packed. I thought it was empty.
No, the Canadian one was empty.
Yeah, the USA Canada final, that one was empty. They announced 35,000 on the dot,
which I think is bullshit.
There's
no way there was 35 people there. There's no way. Which that leads into another rabbit hole with the whole A's thing. Are they going to lie about their stuff? But before I get to that, that Mexico game was great.
Later, Mike.
See, Mike
just jumped out.
Pulisic had 2 goals, right? Then it got chippy, like very, very, very chippy, to the point where Adam's jersey got ripped. Literally ripped. Fights broke out left and right, and then the game got suspended because the Mexico fans could not stop saying a homophobic word every time.
Oh shit!
Yeah, our goalie went to go kick it.
Yeah.
So they suspended the game, ended the game, which it was over anyways. There was only I think 4 or 5 minutes left anyways. But it was fun. It ended pretty poorly, in my opinion. If you are a Mexico fan, I hate to say it, but I'm a little disappointed. Mexico they're always known as being the tough team that earns their fouls. This was just kind of a disgraceful game, in my opinion. But I'll take the win, and we moved on to play against Canada in the finals of the Nations Cup, which is a newer cup. I think they go to the Gold Cup in 2 weeks, I think, or next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks. Yeah.
So U.S. men's national team win that one 2-0. Both goals scored by international players who signed with Team USA.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So I forget who the first one was, but the second one was by our boy over there,
Balogun.
So excited to see him get a goal. Man, That kid is fast.
It was a fucking rocket, that goal, man. It was a well developed play too. Yeah,
he's a fast kid, man. I mean, I'm talking like he almost got one from the goalie when Canada kicked it back to the goalie to reset. I mean, he almost stole it from the goalie. That kid's sneaky fast. So I'm happy to have him on our team.
Daniel says Gold Cup has already started too. Yeah, I mean,
yes,
it's just right into it. Yeah,
but I think USA plays the end of this week here, so I think it's fairly soon. So I'm excited. This U.S. men's national team looked great. What I'm not excited about is Greg Berhalter coming back to coach this team. So
yeah, after all the drama, we're right back where we were 6 months ago. I mean, what the hell? What's the point?
I don't know.
I mean,
there's talks that maybe he was going to be picked up by the Cuban national team or something Cuban related. So they basically panicked and signed Greg Berhalter as fast as they could. I hope that they keep the coach we have now because he was already on his staff previously. So I hope he stays on board.
I'm sure he will.
So I mean, that's the best case scenario in my opinion. Yeah. So, but yeah, this team looks great. Can't wait to see what happens in the next 3 years. So
yeah, exactly.
Go ahead and hit me with the rest of the soccer.
Okay, here. So U.S. women's national team captain Becky Sauerbrunn injured her foot. She's going to miss the World Cup. This was probably her last chance at a World Cup. She's she's one of the veteran players. She's a little bit older than the rest of them. So this is probably her last chance, and it's not going to happen for her. And it's heartbreaking, because she'll be like 42 the next time the World Cup comes around for her. So it's kind of not too many players get to play in a World Cup at 42, especially for the U.S. women's national team, which actually is a really good team. Shocker, I know. So that's unfortunate. Hope she gets better. And I look forward to seeing the rest of the team go out and dominate, though. So there's that. And then the Earthquakes, they get a 0-0 draw against Portland Timbers on Saturday. So they're currently 7 wins, 6 draws, and 5 losses. That's good enough for 27 points, 4th in the Western Conference. So they own 4th place all on their own now. So that's good. They've separated just a little bit
from all
even
playoffs.
With that draw. And I mean, the other thing is I actually read this stat. They've given up 6 goals in the 90th or later minute, and it's made them drop 8 points because of it in the standings. They could be at 35 points right now, which is a lot better.
Second.
I mean, it's
tied for second.
That would put them right up near the top. Let me just dig this up real quick.
That sounds very Wrexhamist, or Wrexham gave up a lot of points in like the 90th plus.
I'll tell you what, if they get those 8 points, they're clear. Like they're 6 points in the lead of the entire Western Conference.
A John Fisher owned team is this good?
Yeah, they are like
presses.
If they could have.
Well, they're the number 1 paid team, so they went and signed a bunch of people and spent a lot of money on the team. So it's not surprising they're making this comeback, right, team? Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, and not at all the exact opposite. And they just kind of lucked into getting a little bit of cohesion.
Oh, never mind.
Some good play.
Don't worry. They'll trade their best player at the deadline.
But yeah, those. I mean, and when it goes into stoppage time at the end of the game, I always hold my breath. And 7 minutes is a long time, man. Not a lot of people like that's a long time to wait for a 0-0 draw. It makes me nervous. It's all of a sudden they just kind of like mentally break down a little bit at the end of the game when they basically have it wrapped up, or if they're holding on to a draw, they drop points. So they need to figure that part of it out, and I hope they kind of have. They haven't really. It's been a couple weeks since they've allowed a goal. They got 2 games coming up this week, Wednesday at Houston and then Saturday at home against St. Louis. St. Louis is actually at the top of the Western Conference table right now with 29 points.
Oh, that's the St. Louis team that Sam was trying to pick. I get it now.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah. Sam, wrong sport, bud. You got it. Though. You got there. Oh. And that does it for your soccer update. So there we are. Just one last thing that we didn't get to talk about on sort of a point after the PGA Tour, Live Golf, and DP World Tour announced a merger. They found a price to sell out, and now guys like Rory McIlroy, who didn't take the Saudi money, is kind of left holding like holding an empty box while
The
all these other guys.
the winner of
They
all of this is Phil Mickelson.
Yeah,
He's the winner of all
exactly.
of this.
That's disgusting. Fuck him.
So just to touch base on that real quick, and I know we got to sign off here.
Yeah.
They basically went to our government was trying to crack down to see if this was an illegal merger, and it turns out it's not. So there's no more court hearings, no more sessions. It is a done deal. So, yay, Saudis win again. All right, boys. Anything else for the night?
I think that's it. I think we've been on for 80 minutes now at this point. Thank you all for hanging out with us.
I just want to say real
long.
quick, just A's fans, it just kind of the show has become about this topic, but just where you can keep following those hashtags, keep the pressure on John Fisher. Let's get this guy out of baseball, but also let's stop having cities fight one another or smear one another to steal each other's resources. It's not good things to do as a neighbor. I don't think it's what baseball fans really wanted. I think Las Vegas wanted an expansion team and to keep the Oakland A's here. But just
at least the citizens.
And keep the dollars out of a stadium deal, because this is going to be coming up again, and I would hate to see another community go through what we're going through because it's draining. We talked a lot about this off air, Vince and I, before you got on the call. You were still working, Tyler, but we talked a lot about this and how mentally and emotionally exhausting it is to be an A's fan, where we are on Twitter, we're reading the articles, we're reading the bills, we're reading all the legality stuff, we're watching other YouTubers, we are heavily invested in this, and it takes a toll on you mentally. So if you're somehow sticking with us all the way to the end, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for watching the show and interacting with us. We all really appreciate it.
Well, since you're here, no way to end that segment without you giving us the proper send off. So go ahead and send us off today, Sam.
I don't have it in front of me, so I'm just going to make it up on the spot. So
you're listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts when we go live. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into our DMs. Also, slide into the chat. Live chat. We love all the live chat here. So we would love to interact with all of you guys.
Yeah. Shout out Daniel, Alex, Edward, Mike, and anybody else that was in the chat that I might have missed. Thanks for interacting, and we look forward to doing it next week, guys.
Yeah. I'll see you guys next week.
Later.
Later.